Regulation size, coach?
Probably not.
I think if you get right dead center. So guys, when we're up in the air like that, what are we doing? We're not getting extension. Why can't we get extension? Because I'm old.
Everybody's great when they're not tired. This is when they tired, that's when the real champions come out. That's when that real dog come out.
There are a lot of people who are very talented who can make it there.
Oh goodness.
Deal with the pressure and the stress that happens when we're there.
Fastball.
One of the best ever. It's not bragging or boasting.
Also do is switch those swingers. So big thing guys, when you're on the mound, you go fastball, you're teamed up. You would do something. So if you get it to where you got it and you go to it, and the spin's gonna be the same. Some
Win
people
tomorrow,
will
but win right now. If you're passionate about what you're doing, keep going, keep believing, reach for the stars.
Everything is always impossible until someone does it. Maybe it has never been done before. That's perfectly fine with me. But I'm gonna do it.
like pitching, 93 to 99.
Never say never.
But like really 88 to 97.
Just
I'm scared.
If you look at the greats in any walk of life, the greats do things when they don't always want to. And that's the separation.
It means you have to be more disciplined and not disciplined. I wanted to be the best I could be, period.
I was waiting for you to smile at some of the compliments. You didn't.
Smiling doesn't win you gold medals.
I'm too fast, I'm too slow, and I'm gonna show everybody out there watching show the whole world, and the world will bow and admit that
More.
I'm the greatest of all time when you see what I do to George Foreman.
I believe that whenever I put my mind to it, if I'm willing to make sacrifices, I can achieve absolutely anything.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion.
Absolutely nobody. Growing up, my parents were strict.
Maybe
My mom broke her
they don't like me because I'm too good.
house I grew up in. The deadbolt on my room got turned around. So I
But you live.
didn't have a key, how you get out.
You live to fight another day.
So, sports. God blessed me with being good at sports. The other thing he blessed me with was my parents. Right? I just told you how hard they are.
I'm the Michael Jordan.
Parenting's not easy.
When I'm
I
on
love
the
my
air,
parents.
I'm the
They
one
didn't have a
that
good
will make
foundation.
you want to hear from me.
And that's
I
spilled
don't
over
care
into
who
me.
I'm on the air with. I don't care
Right?
who
So
it
I'm
is. It
in
does not
Pennsylvania
matter to me. By
working
the
out.
time
Is
I
my thing. I
finish
don't want to be at
speaking,
home. So I get up at 5, I go work out with the shop teacher's
That's my attitude.
brother, which is a football coach. He gets me in a good workout program, and after school, I'm working out. So I'm leaving at 5 in the morning, getting home at like 7, 8 at night. Football, baseball, basketball till 10th grade, and I just switched to football and baseball. Get drafted the day I graduate, get drafted by the Braves. So get shipped to spring training. Now I'm with all these other dudes that have some foundation, some of them don't. Some of them are drinking, some of them not. I didn't get into that stuff. My parents are strict. Like, I would get beat if I did any of that stuff. That being said, that probably wasn't the best thing either. Because when you tell people not to do something, what are they going to do? And I know this as being a parent, and I know this as wanting to serve Jesus now. I think to myself, when I frustrated my parents, or when my kids frustrate me, how when I'm not following Jesus, how that must feel to him. Hurts my heart when my kids don't get what I'm trying to say. It's gonna hurt my heart if nobody in here hears what I'm saying. Because I had guys talk to me like I'm talking to you, and I sat there like, what a loser, like that ain't gonna happen to me, right? 2015 comes around, so 2001 I get drafted. I don't even think you guys were thought of then. Were they?
Really?
The oldest ones in here are 06.
All right, so I'm old. That's why I'm out of breath. So anyway, 2005, I get called up to the big leagues with Atlanta. But meanwhile, I told you guys, like, I'm like the Billy Madison. Anybody see Billy Madison or Waterboy, one of those? Mama says alligator's so angry because all those teeth, no toothbrush. Well, I was the guy that was like, my mama said, I can't smoke cigarettes, I have asthma, I'll die. And then someone was like, here, smoke a cigarette, you're not gonna die. And then what'd I do? Hit it, I didn't die. What do I do now? I don't believe my parents. I don't believe anything they taught me, right? So truth, that's one thing. Tell the truth, all right? Because whenever we're called to serve the Lord, the devil's going to attack, and we got to suit up in the armor. So to tell the truth, how hard is it to tell the truth to your boys when you do something, you screwed up? Anybody just own it? Hey, it was me, my bad, I messed up. I'm going to fix it. I'll get it back next time. You own it? Good. The fact that he's able to say, I own it, and nobody can look down at him and be like, no, I believe him. Because you all would hold him accountable if he wasn't, right? That's what makes a good team.
Anthony.
Yes, sir.
You mind if I read it at 6?
Yeah, go ahead.
6.
Hey, whatever the Holy Spirit shoves your way, throw it out.
All right. The armor of God. And this is 6 verse 10. But let's go back to 6:1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on earth.
Instead of tearing them down to where they unleash on you, you try and say something to build them up. Say something positive. Don't egg people on that are having a bad day. Pick people up. We don't want to drag them down. The world's already going to do that, right? So we're going to be talking about suiting up in the full armor of God. Because who wants to be a soldier for the winning team? Me, right? So iron sharpens iron. Do you think iron sharpening iron, do you think that iron's like, oh, this feels good? Or do you think that iron hitting that iron is like, that probably hurts, right? Like if I was picturing myself doing this to get sharp, it's gonna get hot, right? Some sparks are gonna fly sometimes. But if we're speaking truth, right, then we don't have to feel like we're being attacked. It's not judging if you're holding somebody accountable. Nobody holds anybody accountable nowadays. Because if you feel like it's going to hurt their feelings, guess what? The truth hurts. If you're slacking and someone says, hey man, you're slacking, you need to pick it up, and you get a bad attitude, that's not the right way to be. That's not a good foundation. That's not a good team member. It's not being a good teammate. And so what I'm going to tell you guys is I put the Atlanta Braves, I put baseball at the ceiling, right? That's what I want to achieve. I messed up. I should have put Jesus there. Why is that? Because when I got to the top, guess what? I started hitting cruise control. Oh, I made it. Then what happens? The world started doing this, that. 2005, Tim Hudson came from Oakland to Atlanta when I got called up, and he was like, oh, you need a place to live? And I was like, I knew who he was. He didn't know who I was. I was like, yes, sir. And he's the one that showed me a whole different family than when I grew up. He's telling his kids he loves them. He's putting them to bed. I'm in the basement drinking beer. Like, what are you doing, bro? He's like, man, I got kids. I got to put them to bed. I was like, what? And he's like telling me he loves them. You tell your kids you love them? Like, what? I didn't know any of this stuff. And so I get sent to spring training, get called up to the big leagues, and then all the guys that I looked up to, like most of them were drinking and partying and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, this is what we're supposed to do. Made it, yeah. So from 2005, 2015, 6 to 24 beers every night. So for those 10 years, there was 1 month out of those 10 years where I did not drink. And it might have been because I was sick or was traveling or something. Well, the doctor told me, hey, you chill out, your liver's showing signs of fatigue. Like even a doctor telling me it didn't matter. What did matter was whenever I filled myself up with everything from this world, cars, house, $1 million, wife, kids. I got a boy and a girl, they're outside with a dog. But I had everything that the world offered, but I was empty. I was still like, what is my purpose? This is redundant. It was baseball, party till the sun came up, go to bed, go to the field at lunchtime, work out, party, rinse and repeat, 10 years. Here, Japan, South Korea, everywhere. Everywhere I went. Just tried to satisfy me until I got to a point where it was like, it doesn't matter what I get, it's not satisfying me. I started to question God. Like, what's my purpose? Had plenty of easy signs, but the one that woke up my eyes was I broke my leg off the field. So 2015, I took a dual sport bike out. It wasn't running right. I was 2 handles of vodka deep, which was the norm. Like, I was drinking and driving all the time. Kids in the car, didn't matter. Go to the beer distributor, come on. Boop, drive. Is that a good dad? No. Am I saying that your dads are bad if they're doing that? No. All I'm saying is that they don't have a good foundation with the Lord, right? And sometimes we need to hear that, and I don't live it out perfect every day, all day. And that's where baseball comes into play. Because what happens in baseball? We fail a lot, right? What are we going to do in life? We're going to fail a lot. If you're messing up in baseball, you're going to switch anything up? You're going to start working on stuff that you're failing at? Yeah, we got to do that with the Word. So we're talking about iron sharpening iron, right? Sometimes it gets hot, sometimes sparks will fly. It's going to get heated when you guys are sharpening each other. It's to be expected. But at the end of the day, if we're keeping God first and we love each other like He loves us, we're just holding each other accountable, and we're going to be the best team because of it. It's not easy. The truth isn't easy. Your sword is the Word. What's the Word? It's the Bible. It's the rock. You got to stand on the rock, right? So I was going into a spiritual battle. How many guys in here would go into battle with a toothpick? Anybody going to go into war with like a dull knife or no knife? I straight up was going into war naked. I was thrown out, like the world you see, what you're seeing fed to you on your screens and stuff. Yeah, that's one side of it. There's a whole another side that you don't see. And you're not going to see it until you have the Holy Spirit inside of you, and those blinders are taken off. Because I didn't see it either. And I'm just now starting to see some other stuff as I'm growing in my faith. Right? So the shield is your faith. That's how I'm blocking all these attacks the enemy's throwing at me. And guess what? When you're serving the Lord and you're doing what He wants you to do and you don't have the wheel, the enemy is going to attack you like crazy. Makes you want to quit. You fail all the time at baseball, you're going to quit? You quit. The devil won. The battle is won. If you quit, the devil wins. Don't quit. Suffer well. That's what brought me to my knees. I broke my leg, 6 surgeries with the first doctor. It was just a clean break. They put a rod in. It was supposed to be 6 weeks to heal. When they put the rod in, infection was on it. God knew what I needed. If it had been six weeks, I'd have been back to doing what I was doing. He put me in a timeout, guys, for a while. 14 surgeries, patient 0, removed an inch of bone out of my leg, completely healed. After surgery 7, I gave my life to Christ. The suffering well part, I got plugged into the church right when I had my accident. So I was questioning God, remember? Broke my leg, got plugged into the church. Everything that pastor was saying to me was smacking me right in the forehead. So I promise you, when the time is the time, and you guys are tired of living the way you're living, if you're not living the right way, you're going to see such a big difference. Some of the stuff's going to be complete 180. So for me, like, I don't drink anymore. I don't smoke. I don't dip. I don't do any of that. Why? Because whenever I was in the hospital for all those surgeries, all my friends, they disappeared like cockroaches when you turn on the light. All those people that I thought were my boys, my friends, my ride or dies, right? They see that money drying up and me in the hospital bed like, 14 surgeries later, where do you think they went? They moved on to the next lease to suck off of. Don't let people suck off you. You gotta pick each other up, especially in a team. Y'all are in it together. All of us are in this building together right now. We're all created in God's image, right? So, boots, it's part of the armor. Helps you to walk in peace. If you got everything built up, if you got the helmet of salvation on, you got everything built up, you got your armor on. That's the only way you're going to be able to move forward. God ain't going to let you move forward if you're attacked, if you're going to get attacked and be ran over, if you got him at the center of it. Now, if you don't have God at the center of it and you go, you better be ready to be run over, for sure. So patient 0, they remove an inch of bone out of my leg. I hear this church service, and it's about Jesus going to the cross, and he did nothing wrong. And here I am laying in bed. I did everything wrong. And I realized I can't heal myself. Like, I'm not invincible like I thought I was. And I told the doctor to cut my leg off. And he said, we're not there yet. And then she was like, you want to listen to this church service? So I was like, nope. Like, I want to be able to hear it. Like, I just woke up from surgery. I want to be able to understand it. I don't know if anybody have surgeries in here? When you wake up, it's kind of like everything's like moving a mile a minute. And I was like, I want to be able to understand it. Well, she set her phone over by the window, like by where that cage thing is. And 5 minutes later, it just started playing. I was kind of mad because I told her I didn't want it to play, so I kind of like turned and boom, she was right here. I was like, and she was like, I didn't touch it. It just started playing. And it was a sermon on how Jesus went to the cross and he did nothing wrong. But the thing that stuck out to me is suffer well. I was like, man, I did all this myself. Like, I deserve to be in this spot. Like, I'm not suffering well. God, if you can heal me, I'll tell everybody. Literally, that's all I said. From that day on, my life changed, boys. I broke down in that bed and I died to myself. I was my own God before that, not even realizing it. It was whatever I wanted to make me happy, whatever I wanted to manifest, make happen. I wanted to talk this guy into doing this for me or do that. I did it. And I didn't care about feelings or any of that stuff. If you guys can learn what I didn't learn early, if you can hear what I'm saying right now, and you haven't accepted Jesus, this man right here, these men down here, me, like, you can come forward right now and be like, hey, what you're saying hits me right where I'm at. Like, I've been struggling with stuff. I don't know what to do. I've wanted to quit, but I don't want the devil to win. God's already won. How do I not quit? What have you been through that you can help me with not quit? Well, I can't help you if you don't tell us. Right? We can't go through stuff in our head by ourselves. That's the enemy's playground. You know how many suicidal thoughts I've had after baseball, which I put my identity in, was gone, was over? Even with God and my armor, still just like, man, you don't amount to nothing. Your parents didn't love you. The game didn't love you, chewed you up, spit you out. Like, how are you going to provide for your family? You don't know how to do anything. Sitting at red lights, just like, man, I think I'll just drive out in front of this truck. It's real, boys. I'm speaking truth. Because that's what we need to do. And we hide it, we internalize it. And the next thing you know, I'm talking to a 14-year-old kid. I put a gun in his mouth, pulled the trigger, put the wrong size caliber bullet in it. So as I'm praying to God to take the suicidal thoughts away, he brings me 3 kids, 14 years of age. And what do I realize? Man, you're not going to take those thoughts away, because when I have those thoughts, I come to you. When these kids have these thoughts, they don't. You got to go to somebody when you're dealing with stuff. And if you can't go to your parents, you got to go to somebody. Who are you going to trust? Some of us are like, man, I don't want to trust the coach. He's all making me run. He's doing it. I'm telling you, this guy loves you. I'm telling you right now, I wish I could go back to every single one of my coaches, Some of them aren't alive. Hug them, give them a kiss. And I told you about my parents. I love them. I wouldn't be where I'm at without them. No regrets. I wouldn't take anything back because I want to be who I am. I won't be able to be here speaking to y'all. But I'm here speaking to y'all because there's some men in here that are going to change today. Or I should say some boys that are going to become men today. Because this is a challenge. I promise you, I'm going through it.